Hello, my name is Sammy Bradar, Associate Group Editor for the National Provisioner. I'm here today with Dan Wolff, Manager of Sales Engineering at JBT Marel. Dan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Sammy. Good morning. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about the new CIPure Cleaning System by JBT Marel A&B Process Systems, a digitally controlled clean-in-place system that puts safety and sustainability at the forefront of food, beverage, dairy, and pharmaceutical processing. So just to kick off today's conversation, Dan, how have cleaning and sanitation practices in meat and poultry processing evolved in recent years, and what challenges are unique to this sector?
It's a good question, Sammy. Honestly, I think that some of the evolving practices and challenges that are faced by meat and poultry, are largely the same as those across all food and beverage manufacturing, right? There's sort of this constantly increasing scrutiny over cleanability and design for cleanability. And at the end of the day, no one wants to risk contaminations or recalls or the loss of product or reputation that go along with that, right? At the end of the day, there's also the risk to public health that we all want to avoid. But if the goal is going to be, safer product, that means extra time and extra attention paid to the design of the equipment and the equipment that's making that product. So if that needs to be our area of focus, that can often mean extra labor and extra time devoted to the design of that equipment, the operation of that equipment, the maintenance of that equipment. So if that's become sort of the universal challenge, I think beyond that, finding, training, and retaining great skilled labor and great skilled personnel has been sort of a universal pain point across all industries. So because of that, we were looking really at ways to enhance the automation in their operation and make sure that things are less manual and overall more intuitive, and that they can get employees up to speed very quickly and easily when they do find those valuable people.
Definitely. Thank you, Dan. And looking specifically at that CIPure cleaning system, how does this help meat and poultry processors improve both safety and sustainability in their operations?
So I think when we were approaching the development of the CIPure system, one big area of focus for us was that operability and maintenance, right? For JBT Marel, a big part of ESG means caring for the people that are going to interact with our equipment, with our systems. So we spent a lot of time just looking at things like the accessibility and the ergonomics of those common sort of maintenance operations and inspection parts. And a big goal for us was to ensure that most of those operations could be done and performed from ground level, for instance, and we could minimize the need for lifts and ladders and work from elevation. That the people who are going to be around and using our systems on a day-to-day basis were able to do so safely.
That's great. And Dan, meat and poultry plants vary widely in both size and complexity. How does CIPure's modular and digitally controlled system adapt to different operations?
Yeah, we know that our customers all take very different approaches to cleaning and to sanitization, and for that reason, we need to tailor our solution to their specific application needs. The trouble with that is that a completely customized solution is certainly achievable, something that we're very familiar with and accustomed to. But especially when we're looking at a CIP application, can become prohibitive from a cost and schedule perspective, right? When you're pursuing a new CIP application. So we did our best to identify all those possible unit operations and functions that might be required and build in space and allocation for those in the core design. That way, when we talk to a customer that needs to either add or remove some of that functionality, or they're looking to expand a system, maybe as their facility and their operations grow and evolve over time, we can do that very seamlessly and without starting from scratch.
That's great. That's very insightful. And Dan, what kinds of impacts or insights, specifically like water usage, product quality, or operational efficiency, have meat and poultry plants experienced using the system?
Yeah, so in full transparency, right, the CIPure system is a new product, right? We're just launching that to the market, and we're very excited about it. But we don't have any currently in place at a meat and poultry facility. Very eager for that first customer is willing to go on that journey with us. But what I can say is that the A&B process systems product line, part of JBT Marel, has been in operation for 52 years, servicing meat and poultry as well as dairy and all forms of food and beverage. And with that, we have a very expansive team of very experienced and knowledgeable engineers and designers. And we were really able to pull from their collective experience to make sure that all of our past successes and failures in CIP and cleaning and sanitation, all those hard lessons learned were incorporated into the CIPure design and the rollout of this new foundational platform for A&B's and JBT Marel's approach to clean in place technology. So I think the great advantage is that we're pulling from all that vast wealth of experience and knowledge, but then we're also going to leverage those same engineers and designers to make sure that we are focusing very heavily in the startup commissioning, training, and long-term support of the system once it's installed in a customer facility. I think what's often overlooked is the tuning and optimization of a clean in place or CIP system, right? So the best designed equipment and the best performed installation will fall short in operation if the programming, the training, the tuning of that system is left to the wayside. So our intention will be to conduct preliminary audits of the current operation to benchmark how the systems are performing today, and then post installation and post commissioning go back and do secondary audits and follow-ups to make sure that the system hasn't deviated from the ideal performance parameters, right? That we're still achieving the right pressures, the right flows, the right temperatures, that timers and alarms are set appropriately, and that changes and deviations haven't happened over time that are going to cause that system to operate in a non-efficient or non-productive way. So it's the overall setup of the system and then the overall maintenance of the system that we're going to look to support and make sure that we're recognizing and maximizing the amount of uptime that the customer can experience and the amount of water, steam, chemical, and electricity that we can pull away from their cleaning operation.
Great. I know the producers really appreciate the aftermarket support. So that's great that that's such a priority for you guys. Dan, this is actually my last question for you, but looking ahead, how do you see digital monitoring systems and sustainability priorities shaping the future of sanitation in the meat and poultry industry?
Yeah, it's another great question, Sammy. I think when we were talking to customers early in the development of CIPure, we heard this resounding desire to improve sustainability, right? I think we all know more businesses have goals and commitments that they've made to sustainability and to ESG. And I think a big part of that is, not only caring for the planet, but its population as well. And I think that's a mentality that really resonates with people, with employers, with employees. So that was one thing that we heard definitively from the customers we were talking to. The other thing that was the common message we were receiving back was that specific to CIP and clean in place processes, customers knew that it was a heavy consumer of their time, their utilities, their water, their steam, their chemical, their electricity, that they had excessive downtime or excessive labor associated with performing those tasks. But they didn't necessarily have the tools in place to quantify that expense. So what we looked at when we were developing the CIPure was making sure that we had the instrumentation and the data logging capabilities built into the system that's going to allow those customers to benchmark their current consumption, their current performance, and then to monitor the improvements that they make to their operations over time, right? When they are making physical modifications to the equipment that's being cleaned, when they are adjusting protocols or chemistries of their cleaning process. Now they'll be able to look at the performance from cycle 1 to cycle 2 and see real-time data and logged data over time and trends to say, yes, I am bringing additional sustainability to my operation. Yes, I am reducing the amount of water that I am investing in cleaning and sanitizing this important equipment, keeping my product safe, but doing so as efficiently as possible.
That's great. That kind of visibility into their operations is paramount. I know that a lot of producers are prioritizing that, so that's wonderful. Well, Dan, thank you so much for sitting down with me today for this insightful chat. I'm sure that our producers will really appreciate these insights on the CIPure cleaning system.
No, thank you for having me, Sammy. It was a real pleasure. Appreciate all the interest and the exposure. So excited to see what your team can put together, and excited to talk with some potential customers in the future about how JBT Marel and how AB can help them with cleaning in place.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. I'm Sammy Bradar for the National Provisioner, here with Dan Wolff, Manager of Sales Engineering at JBT Marel. Thank you so much for listening.